here for a quick recap, review, and rant of Blood and Water Season 1. Yes, I'm late for 6 episodes to help me catch up because it's a lot when you're busy trying to binge watch everything. So anyways, we're going into the story of Pooling, and she is part of a family whose older sister has been kidnapped at birth, and they believe that her father was part of a child trafficking adoption thingy or whatever. And yeah, so that's the plot of the story. And most of the story surrounds of her family and her living, excuse me, that is the people for this. Sorry about that. So, anyways, she is in the shadow of her sister, who is currently turning 17 and is celebrated by her mom and dad every year. And she has a little bitty brother. And it's a sidebar. This is really sad that you can't tell people how to mourn that the family openly celebrates this yearly, and they never had a chance since birth to see their daughter grow or anything. So, anyways, that is the whole premise of the show. So, anyways, Elaine, she is a really nice young girl. She is smart. She is part of a big sports rugby team, I guess, at school. And anyways, in the midst of that, she encounters, angst from her best friend and everything. So she's too serious, she's overthinking, and she's mostly like that because her mom is hella strict. Her parents are going through something. You don't find out this season, maybe next season when I go look at the rest of the episode, why they are separated, everything. So yeah. So anyway, at the celebration, she asks her dad to come home. Her mom says no, and that upsets her. So even though she said no to her friend, which is named Zuma, a wild character, is invited to a rich guy's party, and that's not Pooling's thing because she's very conservative and everything like that. But that made her upset, so she decided to go to the party with her. And on the point, she stumbles on a couple of people that she just don't want to chill with. She feels like she's out of it. She doesn't act like the average 16, 15-year-old. I think that's what she is. But anyways, she bumps into this young man named Wade, and he is taking pictures of the party, and he points out a girl that she bumped into. Her name is Felicity, and excuse me if I name her name wrong with this, but her name gonna be in here, okay? So she bumps into her and finds out later that it's her 17th birthday, and she believes that this is her sister. Among Felicity's friends, there is KB, Reese, and Chris, who invited Zuma and all that stuff. Zuma, excuse me. So, all that being said, while they go back to school, Zuma and Pauline get real tight and everything. Chris is a jerk to Zuma at the party and everything. So, but Pauline is going into that. So anyway, long story short, she gets into a disagreement at school, and as she's getting into disagreement and everything, they bring up stuff about her dad being child trafficker, okay? So all that being said, as they're leaving, the mom and dad pick her up. The police so happen to pick up their dad right at the school. Isn't that amazing? How did they find out that he was at the school? So anyways, but I'm not going to run into that because the drama is way bigger than that. So anyways, so she's embarrassed. First of all, she's embarrassed because she had a fight, and now everybody has seen her dad, who is accused of all these accusations, get pulled up at her school. And second, she feels like Philippi is her sister, so she decides to pull herself out of school, everything. So we see that Zuma is mad that she pulls herself away, so she distances herself from her. Sidebar, why was Zuma so mad? Is she her longtime friend? Why didn't she understand that all this is going on with her dad? Like, it doesn't change their friendship. If that was going through, but Zuma is a tough cookie. She is basically helping her mom take out. I think her mom has like mental or substance abuse. They never really show it as much, but you could kind of figure it out when they go to Zuma's house and everything like that. So, all that being said, that was a stop where I was like, why was Zuma so mad at her that she came to the school? She should have had a better understanding. So anyways, Pauline changes to the school. She bumps into Wade. Wade is the headmaster's son. He is connected with Kool-Aid because he thinks she's really cute, but he doesn't let her know whatever. So it's the end of the season or whatever. So all that being said, she doesn't let anybody know why she's there, but she's basically there, and she uses her mother's maiden name so people would not look up her life, everything. So in the midst of all that, she bumps into Philly. Philly has so much going on. Oh, before I need to go into Philly, okay, let's just go into the people that's at the school. So anyways, Philly is a big time. She's a swimmer. She's one for head girl at the school and everything. And long story short, she has a rival whose name is, let me look up, is Wendy. And she's an overachiever. She's that person that wants her hand in everything. She is a person that wants to stand up, or she's woke. I say that. Keep it between. So, but she's still prissy herself. So anyways, she has the same for Philly because she feels like she's everything because she's rich. So even though she's rich too. So anyways, to get closer to Philly, she asks Wendy, can she interview her or whatever. So that starts off real well because she starts asking herself about her personal life, which freaks out Philly because she doesn't put two and two together, and basically decides to latch on to Kool-Aid and start hanging out and everything. In the midst of hanging out, Wendy is jealous of their friendship or how she has, I don't know if it's her or whatever, but anyway, how quick Kool-Aid and Philly catch over everybody in her group. So she decides to lie and change everything Kool-Aid is saying about the article, and that makes her and Philly fall out. So she finally opens up to Wade and basically tells him, listen, because he catch her going snooping through his mother's records, everything, basically telling him that she believes that Philly is his sister, and then they go on this rat race of trying to find out is Philly her sister. In the midst of all this drama, Philly is a very smart girl, but she is her life is basically turned upside down because of Kool-Aid, and basically she's sleeping with her coach who lost his scholarship because he broke his leg or something or whatever. He was some big time dude, but anyways, he has a baby. Philly is trying to be friends with Kool-Aid, but it feels like everything she's doing is like stalkerish. So she feels like ever since the article was put out that she cannot trust her. So in the midst of her not trusting her, they get into an argument, they get into a fight, and she's upset. So Kool-Aid is upset and she's mad at Philly and everything. So she decides to tell Wendy, who is over at school magazine, about her relationship, and it comes out Philly doesn't know until a secret chance or whatever when it comes. We're gonna get into that. So before Philly finds out, KB likes Kool-Aid. They're not boyfriend girlfriend yet, so she convinces KB convinces Kool-Aid to dive in deeper to Philly and everything. And the reason they got into a fight is because Philly and Chris, they put out an article of what's going on with Kool-Aid and her dad's family life and everything like that. So of course Kool-Aid would be upset about that. So in the midst of that, he decides, going back to KB wants Kool-Aid to understand that Philly is a good person and everything, even though he has had a previous relationship with her himself, and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. They made sure this season 2. So all that being said, Kool-Aid goes to Philly. Philly is convinced by KB also, listen, give each other a try. They give each other a try. They made up and everything. Kool-Aid goes back to Mindy, who basically says, listen, take that back. But she could have lied and said I was lying or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, why you can't lie? Kool-Aid, you can't lie. So Kool-Aid is mad. She's not a liar, which is like, you already mad. But you have to think about these are kids. So anyways, all that being said, Philly, while she's making up with Kool-Aid, she finds out that she is the one that told about that she had an affair with Philly. That Philly had an affair with the coach. All that comes out, it comes out at the school, but nobody knows that the person is Philly until the coach's wife comes in, makes a spectacle, and basically calls Philly out, and that just throws Philly's life into a whole upside down shelf. She has lost headmaster. Everybody knows she's a slut side chick. Young student, but she's legal, I guess, in this show to be Asian consent to date this young guy and everything. And her life is turned upside down because of Kool-Aid, and Chris points that out to her all the time. Outside of that, we meet KB's parents, who are friends with Philly's parents, and Philly's parents, all cross hairs with each other when Philly and Poolie had their, they had their little argument or fight at school, and it upsets the mothers to find out what they're fighting about, what the fight is about, and everything. So that's why Poolie really does insist that she thinks that Philly is a sister, but now she has fallen out with her because she turned the girl life upside down. She feels like she upset. So finally, towards the end of the episode, the season, we see that Philly basically confronts Pooling and asks what's her deal, Pickle, and everything. And basically she tells her the truth finally and tells her, I feel like you're my sister, which is another thing that flips her world because now she doesn't even know who her parents are or if her dad is this sex trafficking person. And that's basically the gist of the season. It's so good. The drama, I do not do it too much justice. Okay, so we're going to go into further little things that bothered me. Wendy is so she's so privileged, but she's supposed to be so woke. She does all these things and things, but she is the same person that she's talking about these students. Okay, yeah, I know how these students be. Okay, so one thing about with Pooling's parents, they hide things from her, so she does a lot of things behind her back, like she's trying to find her sister, who her sister is, and everything. And this or that, she's going behind Philly's back, trying to see if she really is her sister. I understand that Pooling is trying to do the right thing because she doesn't want to get her sister, her mom and dad hopes up for a person that could just be wrong. Okay, so damn, I can't even think his name right. She uses this old boy headmaster's son, Wade, but I think she knows, but she doesn't really go into it. But Wade is secretly in love with her, and he does stuff to help her, even though he's being chased finally after someone who is very cute and trying to holler at her, but he still wants to help Poolane with things and everything. She keeps everything hidden from KB, who she's dating. So I cannot wait to see next season and how all this is going to play out. Now that